to take it from here.
When do you think that the two outgoing members, I know what's being said, do you think there's any chance that they could be leaving before 2025? And would that be best for the Big 12 if they did?
Well, that's a real loaded question, because if we've learned anything through all of this, and I'll even go back to the last time we went through this back in 2010-12, you can say something today and it could change tomorrow.
Yep.
So what I would say is anything can always happen. It doesn't feel like they're going to leave before then. There are a lot of challenges for them to leave. Some of them being financial, others being some other issues. That's not to say that there couldn't be something worked out, but to my understanding, they are in through the duration. And to say whether there's an advantage or disadvantage, I could cite both. It would just depend on the particular situation. My gut tells me the only way they're really leaving early is if a television partner wants to negotiate that with an opportunity to use that to help the Big 12 solidify their television, our television deal.
Mm-hmm.
Absent that, I just don't see it happening. But I've been wrong on this many a time.
But there's no way that they're going to be able to walk out the door, if they walk out the door early, that without giving a nice, stiff, thick check to the rest of those in the conference, right?
Well, what the challenge is there's two things. There's bylaws that specify what a dollar amount would be for breaking the bylaw. But then there's the grant of rights, and there's not a dollar of value assigned to that grant of rights. And quite frankly, that grant of rights was put in place by our television partners and the Oklahoma General Counsel because the television partners didn't want to be negotiate a new deal with the Big 12, and then then a school leaves and goes to another conference, and then that conference renegotiates, and they've kind of negotiated against themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the grant of rights, the ACC has them, the Big 12 has them, the SEC has them. So to pierce it in this case really would pierce it everywhere. And so it's just not something that you can just say, well, we're going to break. Because if the grant of rights isn't any good in the Big 12, then it's not good in the ACC. And then what does that mean for Florida State and Clemson? And ultimately, what does that mean for the ESPN with the ACC network? So there's just a lot of issues that go beyond, well, there's an $80 million bylaw requirement. And so I don't think it's just that simple. Yet, the television partners could come to the table and say, hey, let's just move on for everybody's sake. And here's what we would do in order to make that happen. That that could be a different story, but right now that's not on the table.
What do you